The fourth vision of Ezra. So I went, as he directed me, into the field which is called Ardat, and there I sat among the flowers and ate of the plants of the field, and the nourishment they afforded satisfied me. And after 7 days, as I lay on the grass, my heart was troubled again, as it was before, and my mouth was open, and I began to speak before the Most High, and said, O Lord, you showed yourself among us to our fathers in the wilderness when they came out of Egypt, and when they came into the untrodden and unfruitful wilderness. And you said, Hear me, O Israel, and give heed to my words, O descendants of Jacob. For behold, I sow my law in you, and you shall be glorified through it forever. But though our fathers received the law, they did not keep it, and did not observe the statutes. Yet the fruit of the law did not perish, for it could not, because it was yours. Yet those who received it perished, because they did not keep what had been sown in them. And behold, it is the rule that when the ground has received seed, or the sea a ship, or any dish food or drink, and when it happens that what was sown, or what was launched, or what was put in, is destroyed, they are destroyed, but the things that held them remain. Yet with us it has not been so. For we who have received the law and sinned will perish, as well as our heart which received it. The law, however, does not perish, but remains in glory. When I had said these things in my heart, I lifted up my eyes, and saw a woman on my right hand, and behold, she was mourning and weeping with a loud voice, and was deeply grieved at heart, and her clothes were rent, and there were ashes on her head. Then I dismissed my thoughts with which I had been engaged, and turned towards her, and said to her, Why are you weeping, and why are you grieved at heart? Let me alone, my lord, she said, that I may weep for myself and continue to mourn, for I am greatly embedded in the spirit and deeply afflicted. And I said to her, What has happened to you? Tell me. She said to me, Your servant was barren and had no child, though I lived with my husband 30 years, and every hour and every day during those 30 years I besought the Most High night and day. And after 30 years God heard your handmaid, and looked upon my low estate, and considered my distress, and gave me a son. And I rejoiced greatly over him, I and my husband, and all my neighbors, and we gave great glory to the Mighty One. And I brought him up with much care, so that when he grew up, and he came to take a wife for him, I set a day for the marriage feast. But it happened that when my son entered his wedding chamber, he fell down and he died. Then we all put our lamps out, and all my neighbors attempted to console me, and I remained quiet until evening of the second day. But they all stopped in consoling me, that I might be quiet. I got up in the night and fled, and came to this field, as you see. And now I intend not to return to the city, but stay here. And I will neither eat nor drink, but without ceasing mourn and fast until I die. Then I broke off the reflections with which I was still engaged, and answered her again, and said, You most foolish of women, do you not see mourning and what has happened to us? For Zion, the mother of us all, is in deep grief and great humiliation. It is the most appropriate to mourn now, because we are all mourning, and to be sorrowful, because we are all sorrowing. You are sorrowing for one son, but we, the whole world, for our mother. Now ask the earth, and she will tell you that it is she who ought to mourn over so many who have come into being upon her. And from the beginning all have been born of her, and will come, and behold, almost all go to perdition, and a multitude of them are destined for destruction. Who then ought to mourn the more, she who lost so great a multitude, or you who are grieving for one? But if you say to me, My lamentation is not like the earth's, for I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth in pain and bore in sorrow, but is with the earth according to the way of the earth. The multitude that is now in it goes as it came. Then I say to you, as you brought forth in sorrow, so the earth also has from the beginning given her fruit, that is man, to him who made her. Now therefore keep your sorrow to yourself, and bear bravely the troubles that have come upon you. For if you acknowledge the decree of God to be just, you will receive your son back in due time. Therefore go into the city to your husband. And she said to me, I will not do so. I will not go into the city, but I will die here. So I spoke again to her, and I said, Do not say that, but let yourself be persuaded because of the troubles of Zion, and be consolated because of the sorrow of Jerusalem. For you see that our sanctuary has been laid to waste, our altar thrown down, our temple destroyed. Our harp has been laid low, our song has been silenced, and our rejoicing has been ended. The light of our lampstand has been put out, the ark of the covenant has been plundered, our holy things have been polluted, and the name by which we are called has been profaned. Our free men have suffered abuse. Our priests have been burned to death. Our Levites have gone into captivity. Our virgins have been defiled, and our wives have been ravished. Our righteous men have been carried off. Our little ones have been cast out. Our young men have been enslaved, and our strong men made powerless. And what is more than all, the seal of Zion, for she has now lost the seal of her glory, and has been given over into the hands of those that hate us. Therefore, shake off your great sadness, and lay aside your many sorrows, so that the Mighty One may be merciful unto you again, and the Most High may give you rest, a relief from your troubles. While I was talking to her, behold, her face suddenly shone exceedingly, and her countenance flashed like lightning, so that I was too frightened to approach her, and my heart was terrified. While I was wondering what this meant, behold, she suddenly uttered a loud and fearful cry, so that the earth shook at the ground, and I looked, and behold, the woman was no longer visible to me. But there was an established city, and a place of huge foundations showed itself. And then I was afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Where is the angel Uriel, who came to me at first? For it was he who brought me into the overpowering bewilderment. My end has become corruption, and my prayer a reproach. And as I was speaking these words, behold, the angel who had come to me at first came to me, and he looked at me, and behold, I lay there like a corpse, and I was deprived of my understanding. Then he grasped my right hand and strengthened me and set me on my feet and said to me, What is the matter with you? And why are you troubled? And why are you understanding and the thoughts of your mind troubled? I said, Because you have forsaken me. I did as you directed and went out into the field, and behold, I saw and still see what I am unable to explain. He said to me, Stand up like a man, and I will instruct you. I said, Speak, my Lord. Only do not forsake me, lest I die before my time. For I have seen what I do not know, and I have heard what I do not understand. Or is my mind deceived, and my soul dreaming? Now therefore I entreat to give your servant an explanation of this bewildering vision. And he answered me, and he said, Listen to me, and I will inform you, and tell you about the things of which you fear. For the Most High has revealed many secrets to you. For he has seen your righteous conduct, that you have sorrowed continually for your people, and mourned greatly over Zion. This therefore is the meaning of the vision. The woman who appeared to you a little while ago, whom you saw, mourning and began to console, but you do not see with the form of a woman, but an established city, has appeared to you, and as for her telling you about the misfortune of her son, this is the interpretation. This woman whom you saw, whom you now behold as an established city, is Zion. And as for her telling you that she was barren for 30 years, it is because there was 3,000 years in the world before any offering was offered in it. And after 3,000 years, Solomon built the city and offered offerings, and then it was the barren woman that bore a son. And as for her telling you that she brought him up with much care, that was the period of resistance in Jerusalem. And as far as her saying to you, when my son entered his wedding chamber and he died, and the misfortune had taken her, that was the destruction which befell Jerusalem. And behold, you saw her likeness, and now she mourned for her son, and you began to console her for what had happened. For now the Most High, seeing that you are sincerely grieved and profoundly distressed for her, has shown you the brightness of her glory and the loveliness of her beauty. Therefore I told you to remain in the field where no house had been built. For I know that the Most High would reveal these things to you. Therefore I told you to go into the field where there was no foundation of any building. For no work of man's building could endure in a place where the city of the Most High was to be revealed. Therefore do not be afraid, and do not let your heart be terrified, but go in and see the splendor and vastness of the building, as far as it is possible for your eyes to see it. And afterwards you will hear as much as your ears can hear, for you are more blessed than many, and you have been called before the Most High, as but few have been. But tomorrow night you shall remain here, and the Most High will show you in those dreams visions, what the Most High will do to those who dwell on the earth in the last days. So I slept that night, and the following one, as he had commanded me.